Expectation. It is something that is ingrained in all of us, whether we like it or not. We expect things to happen in certain ways, to go according to our plans. We expect that if we work hard enough, we will be rewarded. We expect people to behave in certain ways, to treat us the way we think we deserve. And when things don't go the way we expect, we feel disappointed, frustrated, and upset. Expectation begins in the mind, and it stems from the idea that we have a right to control how things unfold. We think that if we can just manage things enough, we can ensure that life turns out the way we want. But that is where the problem lies. Life doesn't follow our plans. It moves on its own. It has its own flow, its own rhythm, and no matter how hard we try to control it, we can never make it fit our expectations perfectly. Expecting things to be a certain way creates a mental construct, a vision of how we think life should be. And when reality doesn't meet that vision, we suffer. Our emotional well-being is tied to an illusion, the idea that things should be different from what they are. But life is always as it is, not as we wish it to be. We can't control everything, and that's where the struggle comes in. The moment we begin expecting, we start resisting what is, and in doing so, we create frustration and tension. Imagine for a moment what it would be like to live without expectations. No longer would you be waiting for things to happen in a specific way. You wouldn't be trying to force life into a mold that doesn't fit. Instead, you would embrace life as it comes. You would engage with the present moment fully, without the need for anything to be different. This doesn't mean you stop working toward your goals or stop caring about the outcomes. It simply means you let go of the belief that life must unfold in a certain way for you to be happy. Expectations are tied to the belief that our happiness depends on the future. We expect that when we achieve certain things, we will finally be happy. When we get that job, when we find the perfect relationship, when we buy the house we want, then, and only then, will we be happy. But the truth is, happiness is not in the future. It is not something that can be gained by meeting certain conditions or by having things go the way we expect. Happiness is found in the present moment. It is not tied to any future event. It is something that arises from within us when we stop demanding things from life. When we expect too much, we set ourselves up for disappointment. The more we want something to happen, the more it can hurt when it doesn't. And it's not because life is against us. It's simply because we are attached to an idea, a mental image of how we think things should be. Life doesn't owe us anything. It's not here to serve our desires. And when we let go of the expectation that things must meet our wishes, we start to experience life as it truly is, free from the limitations of our desires. Letting go of expectation is not about giving up or becoming passive. It is not about resigning yourself to mediocrity or to accepting things that are not right. Instead, it's about freeing yourself from the need to control everything. It's about being fully involved in life, fully engaged with what is happening right now, without trying to mold it into something that fits your idea of how it should be. When we stop expecting, we also stop tying our self-worth to other people's behavior. We stop expecting others to treat us in certain ways or meet our needs in specific ways. We stop waiting for approval, validation, or recognition from the outside. We realize that our happiness does not depend on how others behave. We become free from the chains of needing others to act in ways that suit us. This freedom allows us to interact with people without judgment, without attachment to how they should be, and to simply let them be who they are. In relationships, letting go of expectation is liberating. When you expect someone to behave in a certain way, you are not really seeing them. You are seeing only what you want them to be, and that limits the relationship. When you let go of those expectations, you see people for who they truly are. You accept them without trying to change them. This doesn't mean you should settle for less or accept behavior that harms you. It simply means you no longer place the burden of your happiness on their actions. You no longer look to others to complete you or to fulfill your every need. Instead, you find peace within yourself, regardless of how others behave. This principle applies to every area of life, not just relationships, work, achievements, material possessions. All these things are often tied to our expectations. We think that when we finally achieve something, we will be happy. But when you let go of expecting any specific result from your efforts, you begin to approach work differently. You work for the sake of working, for the joy and satisfaction it brings, not for the reward or recognition at the end. When you do something without the attachment to the result, the process becomes enjoyable. You put all your energy into the task at hand, not into the expectation of what it will bring. This shift makes everything you do more meaningful, more fulfilling, and less stressful. Letting go of expectation also brings peace to your inner world. It removes the constant struggle between what is and what should be. It calms the mind, which is constantly caught in thoughts of how things should be different. Without expectation, your mind becomes free to experience the present, to truly live in the moment without the distractions of future outcomes. When you let go of expectation, you stop resisting life. You stop fighting against what is. You begin to flow with life, not against it. You begin to accept that things will happen as they do, and that is enough. You stop measuring life by how it matches your personal desires, and instead you begin to see it as it truly is, in all its richness and complexity. Life is a journey, not a destination. And when we let go of expectation, we allow ourselves to enjoy the journey. We stop focusing on the end result and begin to appreciate the beauty of the process. We start to see that every moment, every experience is valuable, regardless of whether it meets our expectations. Expectation creates a separation between us and life. It tells us that we cannot be happy until things meet our standards. But when we let go of that need, we become more connected to life, more connected to ourselves, and more connected to the people around us. We realize that life is not here to serve our expectations. It is here for us to experience as it is in all its richness and imperfection. So let go. Let go of the need to control. Let go of the need for things to be a certain way. Let go of the need to make everything fit into your idea of how it should be. Life is happening right now just as it is. And when you release the need to control it, you allow it to unfold in its own beautiful, unpredictable way. That is when you truly begin to experience life's freedom and joy.